Hello, Westford. We're back from our short break, and we're here to get you caught up on the latest happenings around town. The Drew Gardens Task Force is up and running once again. Dozens ran, walked, and biked to fight domestic violence, and the town is just saying no to lawn sprinklers. I'm Ira Keltz, and from Namnasset to Parker Village, it's time for WestfordCAT News. We begin with a new law that involves Westford's state rep on Beacon Hill. Governor Charlie Baker signed the HOME Act into law, an omnibus bill providing various benefits to veterans and their families. Part of the HOME Act came from legislation filed by Westford's own state rep, Jim Arciero. That piece of the bill was focused on bringing greater housing security for disabled and elderly veterans in particular. For more details on this story, head to westfordcatnews.org/HomeAct. Members of the Permanent Town Building Committee came before the Board of Selectmen recently seeking guidance on two variations of plans for the proposed Boston Road Fire Station. Permanent Town Building Committee Chairman Tom Mahana provided a preliminary design presented by new architectural firm Donham & Sweeney. Thanks to less hallway space and a building footprint on flatter ground, the proposed station now includes a training room and 5 engine bays, 2 design elements not delivered by the former architectural firm of Dorr and Whittier. Donham & Sweeney also flipped the layout of the building, putting the engine bays on the north side of the building instead of the south side. They also removed civilian vehicle access to the building from Boston Road. Overall, the selectmen were pleased with design progress, advising that the 45 parking space variation of the plan was better than the 65 parking space version. Also during the Selectmen's most recent meeting, a decision was made on what path should be taken for the upcoming Rodenbush Community Center renovations. Architect Don Mills presented 5 options for the renovations, ranging in scope and price. Ultimately, the Selectmen chose option D. That plan included almost all the recommended renovations, excluding some larger items such as a new HVAC system for the gymnasium and an emergency power generator. The selectmen also recommended adding roof repair into the plan, which was not originally included with option D. Expected costs for this option are currently projected at $6 million, not including the roof repairs. Starting on Monday, July 25th, part of Route 40 between the Stony Brook School and the United U Plaza will be closed to replace a culvert going under the road at Keys Brook. Construction is expected to last 20 days, and detours are planned on Depot Street, Cold Spring Road, and North Street. We'll have more updates on the construction as it progresses. Additional information is also online at westfordma.gov/Route 40. Recently, the Westford Water Department announced sprinkler use on lawns is prohibited. It's now a $50 fine and more for subsequent violations. But using a hose or a watering can or other devices is still okay between 6 p.m. and 9 a.m. for odd-numbered houses on odd-numbered days of the month and even-numbered houses on even-numbered days of the month. We'll let you know when this restriction is lifted in future programs. And now it's time for our events calendar. This week we have the Ed Cohen Variety Show's own Nikki Penta doing the honors. Take it away, Nikki.
Thanks, Ira. Agriculture certainly isn't for everybody, but it's a lot more fun when you combine it with a carnival. The Middlesex County 4-H Fair is returning on August 26th, 27th, and 28th. There will be all kinds of animals, plus food, games, presentations, and tons of blue ribbons for gigantic veggies, amazing photography, and tons of other things. The 4-H Fairgrounds are on South Chelmsford Road. More information is at www.4hmiddlesexfair.org. Local author Alan Emmett will be at the J.V. Fletcher Library on July 28th to discuss her new book, Our Side of the River. Emmett's tale harkens back to a childhood on the St. Croix River in Minnesota and a series of tales winding through the 20th century. Emmett will be on hand to sign the book as well. The event is free and it begins at 7 p.m. Neshoba Valley Technical High School is offering a week-long summer soccer camp on August 8th through 12th. The event is open to area high school students and will cost $150 per player. All proceeds go to help the Neshoba Tech soccer team. For more information, email Kim Watt at kimwatt@yahoo.com. And last but not least, the Blues and Brews Festival is returning to Neshoba Valley ski area. This year, it's a 2-day event with dozens of sample beers on tap and much more. Tickets cost $25 to $50. For more information, go to www.bluesandbrewsrotary.org. The event's organized by the Westford Rotary Club, which meets at the Westford Regency on Thursdays at noon. For more information on Westford Rotary, go to westford.org/rotary. Back to you, Ira.
Thank you, Nikki. There are many 5K runs, but few have the emotional resonance as one that recently returned to the 4-H fairgrounds. Patty Stocker has more.
The 2016 Run for Live and Walk for Live events recently took place at the 4-H Fairgrounds to celebrate the life of Olivia Marchand, a young Westford woman who lost her life to domestic violence in 2010. Now in its 5th year, the event is part of various efforts by the Live for Live Foundation, a non-profit group started by Olivia's mother, Jody. In addition to small carnival games, food, and vendors, the event also drew people looking to walk, run, and bike as well. According to event organizers, over 200 people registered for the 3 races ahead of time, with 150 more participants arriving to take place on the day of the event. The mood was casual for the participants, but it was still enriching for more serious bicyclists, such as race winner Adam Vella of Chelmsford.
Well, I bike pretty regularly every week. I usually do about 200 miles a week. This was for a good cause, and I'm local, so I thought I'd come down and support it. I know a lot of people are doing this for a casual charity ride. I'm a category racer, so I decided to just go out and ride as hard as I can, and did a couple laps yesterday to learn the route, and today I said, okay, it's sunny out, let's give it everything we got.
Preparations for the event took 7 months this year, but it was worth it for volunteers like Joanne Durr and Fran LaRue.
I was one of the members of the WCNV, the Westford Coalition for Nonviolence, and have been involved in that since the beginning. And so I think it's important for community awareness. I think it's important in terms of keeping Liv's memory alive. And what I see here are her friends and her colleagues from Westford Academy, as well as little kids and families and older people as well, who understand the importance of preventing domestic violence. And that's really how this event was born.
For more information on the Live for Live Foundation, go to liveforlive.com. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stocker.
In Saturn news, former town moderator Bill Kavanaugh passed away earlier this month. He served as Westford's moderator from 1973 to 1991, also serving in various stints on the Westford Academy Board of Trustees, Westford Finance Committee, and the Lowell Regional Transit Authority Advisory Board. In 1992, he was honored by the Westford Kiwanis as Westford's Outstanding Person of the Year. Outside of town government, he had a long career as a CPA and as an executive with Tufts after a tour of duty in Japan following World War II. He leaves behind his wife, Joan, as well as 4 children. He was 88 years old. The Drew Gardens Task Force now has an official scope and about half a dozen meetings left before submitting a report on a proposed restaurant to special town meeting this fall. Any restaurant will require an amendment to the property's agricultural preservation restriction, which town meeting voted down in March. Property owner Ebi Masaladon recently submitted an updated, smaller restaurant proposal, hoping to gain more community support. The task force got its first look at this new proposal at their July 14th meeting. Representatives of Masaladon's company, Westford Gateway LLC, were on hand to provide preliminary information on the proposed restaurant, emphasizing a lower roof and reduced square footage. However, some answers are still needed, particularly regarding the exact maximum occupancy within the building. Neighborhood residents were also on hand to express their concerns with the restaurant and also the committee as well.
Minutes are the records of our meeting, okay? So we have taken our minutes. We need to approve them because before they can get posted, they have to be approved by us. So that's all. We're just approving minutes from the June 30th meeting.
And I'm asking you, at what time do I make a comment about the minutes from June 30th?
She doesn't.
You don't. There are minutes. Okay?
Accurate.
Well, the board has, the committee looks at it and we determine whether they're accurate or not. If they're inaccurate to a comment that you personally made, Maureen, then certainly I would like to hear that. If we haven't captured your comment correctly, then please let us know.
Shall I let you know now?
Yes.
Thank you. Down on page 2, it says Maureen George asked if the task force intended to keep the APR. The response was that they are still in effect. That was not my question, and that was not the answer to the question I asked. The question was, does the task force intend to protect the APR? And the answer was yes.
Well, I don't, we aren't recorded, folks. I don't know what people,
I do remember it something similar to that.
Okay.
She asked if it was still our I had made the statement that when we first set out, that we said we wanted to preserve
Right.
the agricultural use, and she asked if that was still our intent, and I said we haven't done it. We haven't had a
No,
vote.
you said yes, sir. I'm sorry.
No, I did not. I said we have not taken a vote, but I believe that was still our intent.
We'll have more on this story as it develops. A full video of the meeting is available at WestfordCAT.org. In May, the community garden returned for its second year, and this month they invited the community at large to an open house. After receiving startup funding at the 2015 annual town meeting, Westford's Agricultural Commission got to work preparing a piece of land on Graniteville Road, known as the Day Parcel, for its transformation into a garden. When it came to knowing if the project would work out, Agricultural Commission Educational and Outreach Chairwoman Christine Berthold called those first few months a leap of faith. But it was a leap well taken. By the end of the season, residents had applied to maintain 80 plots within the acre garden. This year, there are 106 plots being tended by 96 gardeners and a long waiting list on top of that. Far from its humble beginnings, Berthold has seen the garden transform into more than just a patch of land.
This garden is just really a special place. We've talked about this before. I know we talked about this last year. But there's few things in Westford that really gather such a cross-section of families, generationally, culturally. And you'll see it here while you're here today. You will see grandparents and grandchildren working together in their gardens, and people from who bring their traditions from all different cultures from around the world, growing their traditional crops here. It's a beautiful thing. It's just a beautiful thing. Myself, I'm growing Chinese cucumbers for the first time this year. I learned of this crop from my new friend Shu Fan. He grows them in his plot and had offered them to us as a friendly neighbor one day. My kids fell in love with these cucumbers and said, "Can we grow these next year?" And now I've got these crazy long, curly cucumbers in my plot growing, and that's the kind of sharing that happens in this garden neighborhood. It's just a wonderful thing.
The community garden may soon be expanding as well. This comes on the news that the hay farmer, cultivating the rest of the Day parcel, is seeking to sell his share of the property. There's no word yet on further details, although Berthold is hopeful that funding can be procured to move the garden beyond its current borders. And now for a new segment on Westford Cat News, the Adoptable Pet of the Week. Westford Cat, in conjunction with the Lowell Humane Society, will be featuring a pet available for adoption at the Merrimack Valley Animal Shelter in Lowell. Patty Stalker has more.
I was at the Lowell Humane Society's Merrimack Valley Animal Shelter in Lowell recently, and I met with Deborah Forbes, a former Westford middle school teacher of 35 years and now a volunteer at the shelter for the past 8 years. And she introduced me to Genevieve the Calico Cat.
This is Genevieve, and she is a very pretty, gorgeous little 2-year-old calico girl. She has a great outgoing personality. She's active, lots of energy, loves to play with toys. Because she has so much energy, when she plays, she can get a little rambunctious. A perfect home for her would be an adult-only home where she could be the only pet and she would really keep you entertained for hours. She really does have a snuggly and affectionate side too, but it's more like on her terms. When she wants to come up to you and get petted and snuggle, she's going to let you know, but she has a lot of energy to play and to expend.
Genevieve was actually a very sweet cat, and she's been in the shelter since the end of April. Deborah explained some of the difficulties of animals that have been caged for too long.
Some of them begin to shut down, you know, they get depressed, you know, they get bombarded with the noise and it causes changes in their behavior. And so those are the ones that we try to have volunteers focus on, the ones who are bigger, who need space to get out, the ones who've been here the longest.
If you'd like more information on how to adopt Genevieve or any of the other animals at the Lowell Humane Society Merrimack Valley Animal Shelter, or ways to donate, volunteer, or fill their wish list, you can visit them at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell. Call 978-452-7781 or visit their website, lowellhumanesociety.org. For Westford Cat, I'm Patty Stalker.
And that's all for this week. We'll see you next time, Westford.